What up, y'all? It's J Rat here with my first sports under 10-minute talk show. Alright, so tonight I'm going to be talking about the Giants and the Redskins. Okay? Sponsored by candy, because who doesn't fucking love candy, right? Alright. So, as we all know, the final score of the game tonight was 30-29 Washington's way. I believe that there will be a few non-believers in Washington. Me, of course. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not a believer, but I'm definitely not on the train. I'm not on the bandwagon. And I probably won't be. But here's the thing. Heineke looked really good, right? But I don't know, man. I just don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks. And I do have tonight's stats I will share with you at the end of the video. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm feeling him, and I'm rooting for the guy. I really am. But Jones looked better overall to me. Jones is a goofball. You know what? I mean, when they called that penalty for that long run that he had, where it really looked really long because he's so damn slow. But when they called that penalty, dude, he didn't fall like he did the last season. But gosh, damn, he sure did look like he wanted to. I mean, he looked like he didn't know what to do because he wasn't falling. I was like, dude, quit running like a doofus and looking like a deer in headlights and fucking play to your potential because you're actually a decent quarterback. I mean, I just don't know that guy, dude. Scary Terry looked phenomenal, right? I mean, what can you say? And Heineke spread the ball around. Heineke spread the ball around really well. Fucking extremely well. Like, 10 catches here, 8 catches here, 10 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets, 8 targets, 7. Let's see. $14 targets to Scary Terry, 6 to McKissick, 7 to Logan Thomas, 8 to Humphreys, 6 to Brown, 1, which was a touchdown pass, to Seals Jones, a sleeper tight end. Better be careful for him. Whoever's got fantasy, I'd say probably within the next year. Dude's gonna be pretty solid, solid potential. Go and watch some of his highlights. Beast mode. But that's neither here nor there. Okay? And then he also had 1 to Carter and 2 to Gibson. But 14, 6, 7, 8, 6. Dude. With a touchdown to another guy. I don't need this shit. Del Rio was getting his ass kicked. Right? So he started blitzing. And that shit started working. But Jones looked solid all game, dude. Like, the very end, he showed that he's Jones, right? Like, there was a couple passes in the end where he looks, it was time to shine. I mean, Heineke threw the fucking interception at the worst fucking time. The first turnover of the game by either team. Oh, man, is that not Washington and fucking... is that not Washington and the Giants right there? It was a hell of a game, though. I mean, it had me on the edge of my seat. We've had some great fucking football so far. Week 2 starting out. I mean, and this is fucking New York and Washington. No disrespect to any fans, but I know that we know what division this is with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Not very good. Although Philly did look good this past week, but they were playing Atlanta. They had a lot of things go for them, but let's not get off track. New York should have won the game, right? Or wrong? The Giants should have won the game. So many plays, dude, that, I mean, I can just list off, okay, Jones getting called for the penalty for the bullshit penalty. Then Judge not electing to not go for it twice on 4th down and 2, I think, both times. Or 4th and 2, 4th and 3 in the red zone. Elects not to go for it. I mean, I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? All these field goals, shit. I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities from New York. I feel like they had the better game. And shit, maybe I'm wrong, that's why I don't get paid to do this. But here's the deal, though. Let's not take anything away from Washington because they capitalized on every fucking opportunity that they got, that the Giants gave them. And the Giants did not, I mean, they beat themselves. Let's be real. But like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Washington. Washington killed the game. I mean, they played a fucking phenomenal game. They really did. But it is the Giants, Is that going to work against Aaron Rodgers? Let's not think about last week. Is that going to work against any of the half-assed decent teams? Probably not. But I do like their coaching staff. They do have a solid coaching staff. And the Giants aren't out of this. Like we said, unless the Cowboys play up to their potential, and they're getting injured left and fucking right. Unless Philly keeps playing like they did week 1. I mean, it's fucking early. But after what we saw last year in this division, guys, come on. All right, so real quick, I'll go over some numbers for you. So, let's see. The Giants. Let's just give it off to Gano, first off. 5 for 5 on field goals. It's a fucking beast. I think 35 straight. 2 for 2 extra points, 17 fantasy points. Jones was 22 for 32 with 1 touchdown, 30 fantasy points. He also was 9 for 95 and a touchdown rushing. No interceptions, no fumbles. Saquon Barkley, 13 for 56. Looked a little rusty. He had 1 41-yard run. That's about it. 10 targets to Shepard, 9 receptions, 94 yards, 18 fantasy points. 6 for Slayton, 3 receptions, 54 yards, and a touchdown, 14.4 fantasy points. 8 targets for Golladay, 3 receptions, 38 yards, 6.8 fantasy points. By the way, they looks like they're about to get salty and fight. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but it looked like that shit was about to go down on the sidelines. Heineke, 34 for 46, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception at the end, 23 fantasy points. Gibson, 13 rushes, 69 yards, 0 touchdowns, 9.3 fantasy points. That's a little weak. I mean, Heineke was slinging the rock everywhere, but come on, man. We need a little bit more from Gibson, dude. I mean, a lot of people are expecting from him. They keep drafting him in their fantasy. You know, I have not drafted him because I don't believe in it. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid yet. But you know, I'm the fantasy guy. You got to show me something. If you haven't ever showed me shit, then I'm not jumping in. You know what I mean? I'll play it safe like Tom Brady. I'm not tripping. 4 rushes for 10 yards, 1 touchdown for McKissick, 20.3 fantasy points because of all his receptions. We know that he's going to get those catches. Heineke had 4 rushing attempts, 6 yards, and he had 23, like we said, fantasy points. Scary Terry, 14 targets, 11 receptions, 107 yards, 1 touchdown, 27.7 fantasy points. McKissick, 6 targets, 5 receptions for 83 yards, and he had 20.3 fantasy points. 7 targets for Logan Thomas, 5 receptions, 45 yards, 9.5 points. Little Humphreys, man, made a clutch catch at the end. 8 for 7, 8 of 7, 44 yards for 11.4 fantasy points. I mean, he got some people some points, some receivers, dude. Brown, 6 targets, man, for Brown. 3 receptions, 34 yards, 6.4 points. Seals Jones, 1 target, 1 reception, 19 yards for a touchdown, 8.9 points. Carter, 1 for 1, 1.7 fantasy points. And Gibson, we already mentioned. Then we had Hopkins. We'll give the player of the game with Heineke. 3 for 3. 3 for 3 field goals and 3 for 3 extra points for 12 fantasy points. Guys, I'm at the end here. I went over my mark, but hopefully I get some watchers. Please fucking subscribe. That would be great. I like to talk about sports. I'd like to do more. This is my first video, so hopefully I get some views. Hopefully people like it. If you don't, fuck you. If you do, I love you.